Here we go. Spoiler alert, audience.
Oh my goodness, we did it. We made it to Friday. It's the Jason Show with Shane Wells, Kendall Mark. Hi. Holding it down for you this week. It's been fun.
It has been fun, but we'll never do it again. I'm kidding. We will do it again someday, likely, if Jason ever goes on vacation again. But this is our last day, just you and I.
Yeah. Jason
in the
returns
boxes.
Monday. I know, and it's been a good time. And also just to have conversation with real humans in person. So
I know, right?
It's a good time.
Right? It is nice. It's nice to have girl chat too, because I just don't see people.
This is true, and we've got to do a lot of Bachelorette talking. But we've talked about what you have, where you're going to be next week.
Yes.
What you got going on?
Okay, everybody. The questions will still come in. Shane's like, I have my old job back, everybody. But I'm going on vacation, going up north with the family. We're just staying at a cabin. You know, very, very simple.
You do this like every year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, since I was 5, we've gone to the same resort, and I always joke like resort is such a loose term, especially now, because it's nothing fancy. It's just
a lake resort. We
a
know
little
what those
mom
are
pop
like.
place, yeah, up on Leech Lake, and so really, really excited to just get out because everyone, we canceled all of our plans this year.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we didn't have anything crazy, but we were going to go to Montana this summer. Any like Chicago trips to see Jordan's family. I mean, so I'm just
you got this.
And the weather is supposed to be really good. I was like, Cody, you've made my life and you don't even know it. You have nothing to do with it. But I'm really, really excited. Are you guys doing anything fun this weekend?
Oh, we have so many plans. I don't make plans anymore. I'm always looking at nothing again. Cool. So I will take the kids to the park, whatever, but nothing big planned on the schedule.
Get all the itchies out before back to school. Or has Till started school already?
He's back in preschool, but my daughter's start date keeps getting pushed back. So we're in mid-September now.
Ooh, mama.
Keeps getting further away. So, but it's going to start one
Up
of these
on the
days.
horizon there. Well,
I get it. They got to get it together. So.
Well, and like it's been a long time since she's been in school too.
Yep,
you know, not your
longest summer break ever. Lucky kids, they don't even know.
They just don't even know how good they have it. I remember when I was in middle school, so I don't remember the year. I just remember I was in middle school, but the Red Wing teachers went on strike for a month.
Oh.
It made news. I'm sure some of you remember maybe hearing about it, seeing that. Yeah, but we were like, yes, no school.
And your parents were like,
no.
Stressing out.
I know. I look back on it and I'm like, oh, poor mom and dad.
Sorry,
no
Mom
wonder
and Dad,
they really didn't love not having us at school.
Nope.
So, sorry, parents. Well, it's a Friday and it's a jam-packed show. It's time for the hot dish, everybody.
Gotta go this way.
Oh, you dove in.
I'm diving into the hot dish.
I like it. Okay, most women announce they're pregnant through a phone call or a social media post, a text, but most women aren't married to a famous singer.
Chrissy Teigen is married to John Legend, and the couple revealed some big news in a music video for Legend's latest song, Wild. Take a look.
Oh, we can go slow. We don't need to rush. I'll take the wheel, make you feel how it does. I wanna drive. Wild, wild, wild. Yeah, I wanna drive. Wild, wild, wild.
Did you catch it? As you just saw, Chrissy is cradling her growing stomach, pretty much confirming she's pregnant with baby number 3. They didn't really confirm the news though right away, but late last night, Teigen tweeted out this video confirming the news. The couple already has 2 kids, a 4-year-old daughter, Luna, and a 2-year-old son, Miles. And now they're gonna have a 3rd crazy, cute, talented, funny child.
Did you reveal your pregnancies with a blazer topless with your baby bump?
In a music video. Mm-hmm.
Yes, in a music video.
It was just like that.
I'm sure it was. You know, just everybody's hanging out. Ryan's just rubbing your belly.
We were never good with we never did the videotaping it or wrapping something fun, and maybe I should have put more effort into it, but it always felt like we just had to tell people because my parents weren't living here at the time, and so it would be a phone call or, which feels really anticlimactic, but it is what it is.
I mean, again, we can't all do it that way.
That was pretty sweet, and that's a good song too.
But it is a good song. I love anything he does. It's just candy to my ears.
Yep.
So good.
And that's how he landed himself Chrissy Teigen. Next in the dish, Miley Cyrus. She dropped a new song and video from her upcoming album.
Now, she's been teasing the new song for a few weeks. Here's a little taste of Midnight Sky.
The midnight sky is the road I'm taking. Head high up in the clouds. I was born to run, I don't belong to anyone. Oh no, don't wait to be loved by you. Fire in my lungs, can't fight the devil on my tongue. Oh no, don't need to be loved by you. See my lips.
Ooh, in the song, Miley sings about taking control of her life story and not letting others influence her because, as we know, she's kind of grown up in the spotlight.
Yeah.
The song is from her upcoming album, She Is Miley Cyrus. Now, get this, another ball drop, but it's not, she's pregnant, we promise. After Shane just said that and I almost believed her. Just after midnight last night, Miley tweeted to her fans saying, I want to hop into some Zooms and celebrate Midnight Sky, and she was not joking. She actually joined several Zooms to chat about the song. Can you imagine, like, girlfriend Zoom, having some wine, and then you're like, she's not actually gonna come on, and then Miley Cyrus pops up and you're like,
I haven't seen, are there any like recorded ones yet, or was that maybe a rule you can't
I haven't
record
seen
it?
anything. I just, like, honestly, if she did that, maybe we could do one with her.
Let's send her a link.
The whole rest of the show is scrapped. We're just gonna Zoom with Miley Cyrus. How entertaining would that be, though? Honestly.
Oh, I mean, she is full of surprises.
Totally.
In fact, she's finding a way to make mullets work.
Right?
Too.
Right? She came in like
Nobody
a
else
wrecking
could do
ball.
that.
Like, you know, you saw that whole thing a few years ago,
This
and
is
now
true.
that girl, she cool. One more piece of Miley news. TMZ is reporting she recently split from boyfriend Cody Simpson. They started dating nearly a year ago and did the darn thing and got matching tattoos in March and quarantined together this spring and summer. Neither of them is commenting on the report, but as we all know, quarantine, new relationship.
I thought didn't they break up and then they got back together and then
Dude, I
didn't
know.
even know they were back together.
I
So I
can't
guess
keep up.
pour one out, but I didn't know that was still a thing.
Sorry, everybody. You know, I have no idea what her relationship was with Liam Hemsworth. All I can say is this. That would be a hard one to get over. Because
You don't want to
could
follow that up.
Yeah. I mean, that's accent. Oh, yeah. And he's just like a beautiful man. But I mean, oh, gosh. Yeah, their hair matches. Jeff's like, what about their hair? Look at that. They didn't even just get a tattoo. They got matching helmet hair.
Oh yeah, that's another thing, the matching tattoos. That seems to be like the new Hollywood thing when you get in a relationship. You just go ahead and tat it up.
Like,
Those
why?
are, I mean, they're not forever, but they're pretty forever.
They're
a bold move.
pretty perma-tat. Whatever. Next to the dish, it seems like we can't go a day without something so crazy happening in Bachelor Nation.
It really is kind of wild. The Bachelorette is currently filming. We've been talking about this a lot. They have very strict safety protocols in place. You know, we already talked about the drama involving a second Bachelorette coming in to replace Claire. Now get ready for a second host. Okay, so earlier this week, host Chris Harrison shared this picture on Instagram. Cute, him dropping his son off at Texas Christian University in Fort Worth. Okay, so this means though that he left the Bachelorette safety bubble in California. So now Harrison has to quarantine for 14 days before he can return to the show. Show's taping, so taking his place will be former Bachelorette JoJo Fletcher. You may remember back in 2016, she picked Jordan Rogers. The two were supposed to get married this summer. That was delayed due to the pandemic. Harrison is expected to return to the show for the final few episodes. Reports are he did not realize he would have to quarantine again. Do you buy that?
By the way, I love the clip that we picked where she's just like crying hysterically.
I'm such a big JoJo fan.
I love JoJo too.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, if I could just have her over and over and over again. Okay, Chris, come on. You didn't think you'd have to quarantine again? Like the whole point is that you don't see anyone. You don't not see anyone, then go, I'm gonna drop my son off at college and come back in. What? Come on. I mean, we've been doing this long enough now that that's a little ridiculous.
Come up with a better excuse. I was wondering if since they had already started filming, they would have started filming a long time ago. He was planning to be done filming at this point and could have taken his son to college. And then as all the drama and changing of Bachelorettes and this kept getting stretched out that he just said, it's me. You're not going to do it without me, but
Yeah.
They are, actually.
They're totally going
What
to
if
do
she's
it without you.
like totally rocks it? And she probably will.
I don't know. Isn't he still an executive producer on the show? So at the end of the day, it's going to be hard to boot
That's
him
why
out.
you're like, it's hard to believe no one said, dude, if you leave to take your son to college, you know, you
Right.
can't come back, right?
It's just odd to me that they wouldn't think of that. But
No.
that's not the only Bachelor news today. Now, after the break, former Bachelor Colton Underwood, he's calling out the show for mental abuse. Pretty big deal.
Yeah, plus, you cannot miss this. We've got the first look at the new TV Christmas movie that was shot right here in Minnesota. Ted's in it? It's movie producer Ted. He visited earlier this year.
He might be. We never know.
That'd be great.
Ugh, and later, our food expert, Stephanie Hansen. She's joining us with her picks for the best fried chicken in the Twin Cities area, perfect for weekend picnics. Stay with us. It's the last day of the Shendel Show.
I'm glad you read that one. When it said best fried, I just read it as friend, or best friend.
Preparing to talk to you, which is I've known you for a long time, and you are the person who I would say has been preparing for this pandemic since the day I met you. You are someone who, first of all, you studied biology and chemistry,
And
biochem.
seriously, yeah.
Seriously, you always used to be telling me over the years a pandemic could be coming and you like to hunker down. Now it's happening. Are you adjusting?
Adjusting, there was no adjusting. It was
You just-
just how I lived my life. There were days and days where I just never even left my house or went in my
Right.
car.
This is the question.
Is anyone surprised
You're up
Phoebe
against.
would be the one to be prepared for a
You're significant
pandemic?
enough.
Lisa
You
Kudrow and
yourself.
Conan last night talking about being essentially a prepper and getting ready for a pandemic. I mean, it's Phoebe. You know
It
what I mean?
fits.
Like, it
It
kind of
so
fits.
fits.
And the fact that she would be very smart and in real life go to school for these things.
And then play this person who doesn't have anything
Thought
going
at
on
all.
upstairs.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Of course.
Okay, next in the dish, we're headed back to Bachelor Nation. Sorry, we're really into it though. Former Bachelor Colton Underwood is blasting the show that made him famous.
So he just did an interview, and it's more than 2 hours long with Reality Steve for his podcast, saying that he's not in a good place with The Bachelor. He claims that producers of the show took advantage of and abused his ex-girlfriend Cassie, who you see there, during her appearance on a Greatest Seasons Ever episode of the show that aired last month. Colton called out Chris Harrison for asking her questions during the appearance, trying to create a rift between the former couple. Colton also says being on the show caused his mental health to suffer, leading to social anxiety when being out in public. He says he had to take medication to deal with anxiety and depression while his season aired last year. And it wasn't just his season. I mean, he was on at least 3 different,
Parts
he was
of the
on
franchise.
Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise. So he was on this show for like a year and a half straight,
A
practically.
long time, right. People loved him too. Like when he was on, whose season was it that he was?
Becca.
Becca, thank you. When he
Yeah.
was on Becca's season, I thought he was fine. I thought he was not for her.
Right.
But gosh, the like love for Colton by the teeny boppers specifically,
I get it.
that would be really intense.
Yeah, he said that he was mad about the interview. But Chris Harrison kept asking about his breakup with Cassie, and she didn't want to say anything. And they both come out publicly and said they're not going to like talk about what
it.
happened. And so, but I mean, it only made sense that clearly Chris is going to ask about this. I
Yeah.
didn't know if it was abusing her. I guess I didn't listen to the whole thing, so maybe it was.
Right.
I think so I listened to the whole 2-hour thing. Yeah, I did.
You
But
listened to the whole 2-hour thing, Shane?
I did, but I put it on fast forward. You know how you can speed up the voices? So they were talking really fast. Probably like I do.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you can get through it in like an hour. So the one thing that really shocked me, I know producers manipulate the cast.
Right.
We know this. They get in their heads, hey, tell him this, he wants to
Right.
hear this, even though maybe he doesn't, and go
Right.
kiss him, and all these things. What happened on the hometown dates blew me away.
What?
He was a hometown date. He had 4 girls.
Right.
Cassie was going to be his last hometown date. He, in his mind, was really torn between Hannah G and Cassie, which then you go, but you went on 2 other hometown dates, even
Right.
though you knew it was those 2.
And I always thought he was going to pick Hannah G. So sorry.
He was leaning toward
continue.
her, but then he kind of switched.
Okay.
But basically, producers took Cassie's parents, her dad, to lunch the night before and said, look, he's not going to pick your daughter. Protect her heart. Protect yourselves. And so then when they did the hometown, I don't know if you remember, her dad was super
Not-
harsh.
yeah.
Not having it. not okay with it, and it made for a really dramatic thing. And it actually ended up being kind of, I think, the reason she kind of didn't. Remember, he proposed to her and she essentially left the show, but then they ended up together. So this little like lunch date like changed the whole outcome of the show for them. And it was messing with family, a dad. I'm like, not okay.
The dad,
leave the parents
too.
alone. Like, this is hard on them already, I'm sure.
I wonder how often that happens. I mean, so anyone who watches the show knows when you watch those hometown dates, the houses are always super decked out in very bright colors, kind of like the Jason Show studio. This is not a normal living room.
Well, they're not
right?
their houses.
So,
they rent houses.
What?
Most of them aren't actually in their homes. They're in like a rented home.
How do
It's,
I
like,
not know any
preset.
of this?
I think it depends how they can film in a home, and if it doesn't fit, then they just rent a home for the family to be in.
Is that why it's not as entertaining as like, 6 years ago when they'd actually go and see like a bunch of buckheads on the wall and like you'd be like, wow, okay.
Well, this is interesting. So yeah, they rent the homes a lot of times, so they're not even in their own home.
Yeah,
He
I
said he
would
was
just like to be
super
clear, by
sick
the way, there's
during
a
it.
stag in my house too, so nobody be offended by that.
Stags are trendy.
It's the thing.
We know Jason's very into stags.
Nobody be offended
Too
by that.
soon to be talking about stags, though. Hashtag too soon.
I just like the whole, so here's the deal. Here's my take. I can't imagine that you go through that process, especially being the Bachelor, without having some mental health issues. It's a lot of pressure. There's people everywhere with an opinion about you. I can hardly watch myself on TV when I go home to like review a clip of something I've done. I just don't like the way I sound. It's just weird. It's like listening to your own voicemail. It's just weird. So to watch yourself fall in and out of love with people and share really intimate details would be kind of a head case.
Oh yeah.
I also am like, don't you kind of know that going into it in the age of social media that we live in, that this is gonna be hard and you're probably gonna need some help? So I don't know if he addressed that in the whole thing. I think that to act like it's shocking that this stuff happens, maybe you should look into it. What you're saying about the producers sort of messing with the show, maybe you should look into that before you sign yourself up for this.
Well, and then sign up for season after season after season.
Right.
Like you went 3 times. So yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, very interesting things I learned, and now you don't have to listen to the 2-hour podcast.
Thank you, Shane.
No problem. Next up, we told you yesterday about David Blaine's next trick. So he's floating across the Hudson River in New York, only holding on to a bunch of helium balloons.
Weird. Blaine was on The Tonight Show last night and talked about the inspiration for the stunt.
So the new one that I'm working on, it's called Ascension, and the goal is I want to take a bunch of balloons and just float up into the sky until I vanish. My dream has always been looking up into the sky. It would be amazing to just, like the movie Le Balloon Rouge, just grab a bunch of balloons and go drifting away. So I've been diligently putting this together, and I have an amazing team. And
Well, Blaine said he had to get a hot air balloon license for the stunt, not surprising. Weather permitting, the stunt will take place on August 31st. Now, he plans to have a parachute in one of those balloons, like as his backup just in case. That guy's done some really crazy things. If you missed the show yesterday, we talked about how he put himself in a plexiglass box for around 45 days, and all he had was like 4 liters of water to survive. He's been underwater in a sphere in New York City for 7 days. He's held his breath for 7 minutes and had to be rescued. I mean, at what point do you just like tap out?
Well, this is just like Colton. When do you tap out and say, enough is enough?
The theme of today, men, when are you gonna just tap out? You know?
I mean, I guess I wonder how much money you make off of doing a stunt like this.
Oh gosh, I don't know.
I mean,
like who? That's the question.
and
I'm
then
always
think
like,
about
how do
the
you get paid?
strength to like hold your whole body like that long on
He's,
one,
like right here.
like, because the picture was like one arming it.
Yeah, I mean, you dislocate like an elbow. I mean, in the way that
Unless
air
you're like
pressure
harnessed
works.
in, but it made it look like he was just literally holding on.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a lot to think about. We're gonna watch, I'll tell you. Next up, the moment we've all been waiting for. Most of us. We're finally getting a look at the made-for-TV Christmas movie that was filmed right here in Minnesota.
About time. You may remember the news back in February when a film crew was shooting the movie at Erickson Farmstead in Isanti. So the owner of the farm said the location was typically used for weddings, but the winter is the slower season, so it was really the perfect time for the movie to just take over. Of course, our resident TV Christmas movie lover, producer Ted Johnson, visited the set and got some behind-the-scenes scoop. Now, at the time, we heard the movie was about two real estate agents, rivals, competing for a listing of a hometown inn. All that sounds exactly like you'd expect.
Just like it. At least there'll be real snow in this movie too.
That was always my problem. They were in these locations where they have their coats unzipped.
Yeah.
They'd have like fake snow, and there's no
No steam.
no breath coming out.
They've got like
no
open
hat.
chocolate coffee mugs. I'm like, girl, in Minnesota,
No.
you don't do that. You cover that up,
Good for them actually doing it
right?
in
Here.
a cold place.
Here.
Okay, so anyway, now we finally know more about that movie.
It's called The Christmas Listing.
Of course.
And the description says the character of Julia is a hard-working realtor who lost her Christmas spirit. She ends up trying to save her family home from foreclosure, but she must face off with another realtor, the handsome Chad. Here's the trailer.
My clients love the place and we're ready to make an offer.
It's just been sold.
To who?
I hate him.
Who's him?
Chad Everest.
The bane of my existence.
This Christmas.
What's this?
You're foreclosing on the house.
I'll keep it a secret. My mom's upset enough about the farmstead being sold.
We need to get that listing.
The competition is on.
We're retiring. We need to sell the place. We're going to invite you to be our guests here for the next week. You can't really understand this place until you've experienced its magic.
But her biggest rival.
Do you two know each other?
Yeah.
No. Then this is the perfect time for you two to become friends.
I'm gonna get this listing because I understand this end. You only care about the bottom line.
There's nothing wrong to have ambition.
Do you stay up at night thinking of ways to be more annoying, or does it just come naturally to you?
May just feed. Her perfect match.
I'm just happy to see Julia got her Christmas spirit back.
Every time I think I have you figured out, you surprise me.
Admit it, she's not all that bad.
Is that a smile?
Love is just like a puzzle. Just have to find the matching piece.
It's a Christmas miracle.
The Christmas listing.
Mark your bingo cards, people. That there was a gazebo. All right, the movie is set to be released on November 28th, but not clear where it will air.
What?
I at first thought that it was just on Hallmark guaranteed because it just sounded like a corny Christmas movie, which I love, don't get me wrong. But apparently they don't know where it's gonna be.
I love them in their Christmas sweaters putting the piece to the puzzle together. All the images, yep.
I mean, I have to say, I often pick out what I want to do based on how attractive the man is, and he was pretty attractive, so I might watch that.
Kendall's on board. You got one.
Yep.
Still to come, oh, and Ted. Still to come, it's the perfect summer meal, fried chicken.
Our foodie friend Stephanie Hansen joins us live with her favorite local spots to get a bucket of fried chicken crispy goodness. And she has a few surprises.
And later, meet the local woman spreading love for Minnesota on the social media app TikTok. Stay with us.
Don't you know? Spread the love, yeah. Don't read the comments, people. Never. Only the good ones. We like the good ones. Welcome back to the Jason Show. It's a beautiful Friday to talk about food. It's the perfect summer meal, and it's hard to beat a bucket of fresh fried chicken.
And lucky for chicken fans, there are plenty of great local restaurants serving up delicious fried goodness. So joining us via Zoom with her picks for best fried chicken is the co-host of The Weekly Dish, Stephanie Hansen. Hey there.
Hi, girls. How you doing?
Oh, look at your spread.
It's the ladies' show. I know we're both looking up at that because that looks
Ladies.
so good.
Sorry, I always call my besties my girls, so
Yeah,
you're my girls.
No, I like it. Girlfriends. I love it. Okay, Seth, the first place you're talking about is actually one of my favorite places because of their chicken and their vegan stuff, The Block in St. Louis Park.
Okay, so look at this beautiful tower of delicious fried, yummy chicken. It comes with sides, so this is a little bit of the gravy, the cornbread. But what I love about the Block St. Louis Park is they have a great patio, and you can bring your dog and you can order your fried chicken out on the patio. You can get it pre-cooked, so you can pick it curbside, and it's just super delicious. They do a great job in the crisp to chicken ratio. It's juicy. But they also will sell you the whole darn bird if you want, and they just do a great job. I love it.
Well, and like I said, I really like it because if you go there with someone that maybe doesn't eat a lot of meat, they have good vegan stuff. And like you said, the dogs can come. It's pretty fun.
Yes, on the patio. Dogs are very welcome there at all their restaurants.
All right, how about Red Cow? I know that's your next stop.
Okay, yes, it is. And Red Cow, I love their chicken. They've got Minnesota Nice, and they've also got Tennessee Hot. And the hot is super hot. I also love their hot pickles there.
Oh.
This is like a very, very crispy fried chicken. And you wouldn't think like a burger place would do a great chicken, but they do. And you get 4 pieces of chicken for $18 with the coleslaw and the sides. For me, it's enough for like my husband and I to have that for the whole meal. And it's just, it's awesome. The hot is hot.
I like that.
Good to know.
We went there for, during the pandemic, we got some takeout from Red Cow, and the line was long. I mean, in a good way, though. People love their food.
Yeah. I think their food holds up really well. You know, we're kind of seeing some curbside to go. It's hard, right? To make the fries crispy and make everything awesome. This chicken really holds up super well.
Okay, I have to ask, is this the Coop or the Co-op in South St. Paul? I'm
Coop.
guessing Coop. Okay.
The Coop in South St. Paul. And this chicken, it is $11 for a half a chicken dinner, and it comes with sides. And this chicken like reminds me of exactly the kind of picnic chicken my mom would make. It's fried, but it's lightly fried. So it's more chicken than crispy skin ratio, which I kind of like. It reminds me of my mom. It's sort of a Midwestern presentation. And it's a family-owned business. They just do a great job. And I love the Coop.
Love the back to basics. Before we get to the next one, what is your plan for all that food you have there?
Right, what you gonna do with
Well, now if I was in studio, we would all be having a delicious chicken buffet. Since I'm not in studio, I'm gonna head out the door here and start pounding on some neighbors' doors.
Seriously?
Oh yeah, totally. I can't eat all this chicken. Are you kidding?
I want to live in your neighborhood.
Leftovers for days. Yeah, lucky neighbors.
No, my neighbors they know, like, oh, Stephanie's got food. She's out front.
She's ready. Okay, Wendy's House of Soul. That one's in Minneapolis.
It is, and I love this, and I included it because I think their wings are just fantastic. They're in North Minneapolis. She's known for her soul rolls, which are sort of a fusion-y take on an egg roll. This one has collard greens and macaroni and cheese in it. She does soul food really well. These are her delicious wings. They come with a great sauce. The fries are really well seasoned. Wendy's House of Soul. It's North Minneapolis. She knows her chicken wings, you guys. Are really, really good. And they're fried, but they're very lightly fried. And they're mostly, can you see the seasoning on them? They're super well seasoned.
I'm drooling.
I believe you. Yeah, that looks good. All right, how about Bull's Horn?
Okay, I just love this bucket of chicken. This is Doug Flicker and his wife Amy. It's a dive bar in South Minneapolis. And you can see it's just, he's like a really chefy chef, but he's doing fantastic chicken. And you can see all the spices in it. It's deliciously fried. You get this bucket here, and the bucket's a good value. You get 5 in a bucket for $15 or 9 for $27. So if you have a bigger group and you're going out to a picnic in a park, this is a great thing to pick up before you go.
Now, before we get to your last one, which is the big secret, big surprise shocker for everyone, I have to ask, we did mention the one at Red Cow can be a little spicy. Are any of the rest of those spicy? Because a lot of us Minnesotans are just really not very good at that.
Yeah, most of the menus will do Minnesota spice or not super hot. I will say, like, Revival is on my list on my website at stephaniesdish.com, and their spice is like the spiciest of the spice. So this is not too spicy, the hot is spicy. All of these, I think, have a little bit of, they're flavorful, but I wouldn't call them hot unless they're hot chickens.
How about your last pick, your surprise pick?
Okay, I don't know what my last surprise pick is. The funny thing is it's a surprise to me too. So maybe you guys should tell me what my surprise pick is.
It's Cub Foods.
Oh, that is a surprise. I totally forgot about that one. See how it is? Okay. I was on Jason's radio show, and we were talking about chicken one day, and someone said, have you had the Cub Foods deli chicken? And I was like, no, who's going to Cub Foods for the deli chicken? They were like, oh, you should walk, don't run. He said it's better than any restaurant chicken. He said it's like you take the drummy and you dip it in the gravy and the mashed potatoes, just like you used to at the KFC when you were a kid.
Right.
Yep.
And literally, like, the Cub deli chicken, it has a cult following. It's available 24 hours. And it is the chicken that rivals all restaurant chickens.
Wow. Okay, good to know.
Yeah, good tip.
Run,
Thanks
don't
for
walk.
reminding me.
Okay, well, all the places Stephanie mentioned, they're on her website, stephaniesdish.com.
Don't worry though, Stephanie's sticking around after the break. Her tips for making crispy fried chicken at home. Stick around.
Air fryer?
It is a good Friday to be tuning in, people. It's a good Friday to do that. Welcome back to the Jason Show. It's good because we're talking fried chicken this morning.
Stephanie Hansen joins us again, and this time she's got a recipe for crispy fried chicken we can do at home.
Yeah. Do you guys ever make fried chicken at home?
No.
I've tried once and it was an epic fail, so I'm very curious.
It is the kind of thing where people feel a little nervous about it. To be honest with you, I didn't try frying chicken at home till I was 40, and my mom used to make it every Sunday for dinner.
Well, that makes me feel better.
Yeah, because I just thought, I don't know, I don't have a deep fat fryer, but it is pretty easy to do at home. There's a couple keys to it, and one is to marinate the chicken overnight. So you're going to either do that with buttermilk. I do buttermilk and dill pickle juice, which sounds kind of weird, but it helps tenderize the meat and give it some flavor.
Wow.
I think that's great in the bull's horn chicken.
Okay, but let me see. Pickle juice, I needed to hear a tiny bit more about this. So that just helps with the flavor and helps keep it moist?
Yeah, so you want to put your chicken in the refrigerator overnight, and you want to have it in either buttermilk marinade. They do pickle juice. I do both. I do some pickle juice and some buttermilk. And you just cover the chicken and you cover it up with saran wrap and you leave it in the refrigerator overnight. Then when you take that chicken out the next day and you're ready to cook it, you've got your Ziploc bag and you put all your flour and your seasonings in the Ziploc bag. Then you take your buttermilk dill pickled chicken piece and you shake it in your Ziploc bag. And in the meanwhile, you have your oil going, and you need to have a thermometer. This is a candy thermometer. It's not a fancy one, but it works.
Okay.
And so you wait till your oil gets up to temperature. And I use like an inch or two of oil. I don't douse it and do it like a deep fat fryer. I'm just kind of frying half of the chicken at a time.
Okay. How much, what kind of oil do you use, Stephanie? Does it really matter if it's like canola, coconut?
People say to use peanut oil because it has a higher rate of smoke and it has a higher ability to hold heat. I personally just use canola oil. I use vegetable oil. I use literally whatever I have in my refrigerator. I'm not picky about my oil.
Okay.
So you get the oil up to temperature, right? So now you're at 340 and you've shaken your chicken pieces and you then put them in your pan. But you don't want to crowd them, right? So you're only going to do like 3 pieces, maybe 4, depending on the size of your pan at a time. And you're going to fry them on both sides for about 3 minutes. Then you're going to put them to the side and you're going to put them in the oven. So you're actually not frying the whole chicken piece in the fried oil. You're actually finishing it in the oven so that you make sure that the chicken gets done. You're controlling the temperature. You can do lots of pieces for a bigger group. And you're not having to like put them all in the pan at the same time. The other key to it, and I didn't do this right the first time, once you have cooked some chicken pieces, you have to let the oil come back up to temperature again. Because if you put the second pieces in and the oil's not hot enough, the skin, the crust doesn't adhere right on the skin.
Oh, that's a good tip. I was going to ask, we've got about a minute, but I wanted to know, is there a trick for really knowing that it's cooked all the way, but it's still going to be nice and soft inside? Because that's where epic fail over here.
Yeah, you can use a little teeny tiny thermometer like this. And you just poke it into your individual piece of chicken and you take the temp on it. That's the best way. Otherwise, you just can cut into it a little bit. And if the juices are running clear, it's cooked. If you see that when you cut it, the juices are a little bit pink, I would probably cook it a little bit longer. And I'll be honest, I'm worried about undercooked chicken all the time. So I cook all my chicken within an inch of its life.
Same.
Just to be sure.
Same, except I don't have that same touch.
You don't want to get anybody sick, so we're going to cook the crap out of it.
Awesome. Well, enjoy your chicken feast.
Yeah, and the neighbors. I'm gonna go visit them right now.
All right, thanks so much, Stephanie.
Bye,
You can
guys.
catch Stephanie on the Weekly Dish on Saturday mornings on My Talk 107. You can also head to her website, stephaniesdish.com.
And we'll also be posting her segment on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Just search for Jason Show TV. We will be right back.
Oh, hey, I have
Sorry,
to read
there's
more.
more.
Still to come.
My bad.
Still to come, bringing Minnesota to the masses.
Oh, a local woman is spreading her love of all things Minnesota on the app TikTok. We're talking to her next. Don't you know? Kendall, there's more for you today.
That was actually me. I know. Welcome back. You're trying to decide. We're going into a TikTok segment, but we're still talking about fried chicken.
We're still talking about fried chicken. I just had to say, so growing up, it was a huge part of our household too.
Who made it?
We didn't make it. My dad would go to either Randy's and Red Wing. It's a cult classic there if you've been there. Like if you're from Red Wing, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, and you get the mashed potatoes and the bucket of chicken. Or we'd go across the way in Wisconsin and get some chicken. A great way to spend a Friday.
Not bad. All right. So we were talking about TikTok too, because Minnesotans, they love to brag about their home state.
Don't you know? We take pride in the place we live, and a local woman is spreading the love of all things Minnesota on social media. That's TikTok if you've never heard of it. Take a look.
Put a finger down if every time you tell someone you're from Minnesota, they say, "Oh, Minnesota." Put a finger down if when you tell someone you're from Minnesota, they say, "Oh, it's cold there, huh?" Put a finger down if when you tell someone you're from Minnesota, they ask if you have grass there. Like the stuff on the ground, or? Put a finger down if when you tell people you're from Minnesota, they ask if it's in Canada. Put a finger down if every time you tell people you're from Minnesota, they ask if you've been to the Mall of America. Yeah, I live in Camp Snoopy. Duh.
Duh, that's Katie Sexton, known as Your Friend Katie on TikTok. Some of her videos get more than 100,000 views and likes. So joining us right now on Zoom is Katie herself. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Good morning. We're good.
Oh, you don't sound as Minnesotan as I thought you would.
I don't. I'm sorry. I definitely have a Minnesotan accent, but I up it a little bit for the videos.
Yeah, seriously, who are we talking to? The girl in the video was not the same one. Okay.
I know.
Tell us how you got started in TikTok, because I just browse TikTok, but I've never actually went through the process of putting a video out there. So how did you get started?
Well, I'm a hairstylist. I work in South Minneapolis, and when we weren't working, I was bored out of my mind. I'm going to be totally honest with you. And I downloaded TikTok like everyone else did.
Yep.
And I've always been able to do that accent, obviously being born in Minnesota and everything. And I had nowhere to put it out there, you know? My husband hates it. He thinks it's the most annoying thing on the planet. So I just started making videos, and see, you can hear it, videos. After the first two kind of blew up, I was like, I'm going to keep doing it, I guess.
Yeah, you put me down the TikTok hole when I was looking through your videos too. And I have a bone to pick with you because my Minnesotan accent, I've been really trying to suppress it all day ever since watching your videos.
Oh, true.
I catch myself all the time now. When I'm working and my coworker is here, I was talking about going up to someone's cabin and I was like, yeah, I'm going to the cabin. And I was like, oh no,
Yes,
cabin.
yes. Okay, one of my favorite videos, well, I have a couple, but one of them that I really like talks about how you're from Minnetonka and it's not all just a lake. So you're from Minnetonka, you're from around here. People don't talk like that in Minnetonka though, right?
They don't think they do.
Think is the key word there.
Exactly.
If you guys haven't seen it, we all know that Minnetonka is not only a lake. And you say specifically, at least you're not from one city.
Where the cake eaters are from, that one?
Yes.
That's the one.
That's the one.
That's the one. Yeah. I didn't grow up in Edina. You know,
what has been the reaction to this?
It's been really fun. I have had a lot of people that I know reach out to me and say, oh my gosh, I saw you on TikTok. That's amazing. I've actually been recognized a few places, which is bizarre because I didn't expect that ever. I was at Target with my husband and he was with me and he was like, if I hadn't been with you, I would have never believed you ever in a million years. So it's been really fun. I don't know. It's just a fun outlet, you know, a way to.
Right. Well, and
forget about what's going on in the world right now.
Right, and the one we're watching right now, people at home can't hear you, but they can see the name of Matamidai there, Cloquet. You talk about different cities that people pronounce incorrectly.
Commonly mispronounced,
Yes, all the time. So how did you come up with this list? Did you hear other people saying it, or is it something that you just kind of whipped out yourself?
A few years ago, I think BuzzFeed actually did a video on like different Midwest names that people commonly mispronounce, and I think the people they were doing were from, or that they were having read the names were from California, and they just butchered all of them, like Wayzata and Shakopee. And I was like, well, that would be fun. I am going to have, he doesn't know it yet, but my dad has a cousin who lives in Rhode Island, has a very Boston, Rhode Island accent. So I'm going to have him read some names, and then I'll correct him. I think that would be pretty fun.
I'm here for that. Tell us, we talked about being a hairstylist and how life was a little bit boring, but do you want to talk about what you specialize in and kind of how you got through that time outside of TikTok?
So I specialize in men's hair and short hair. I work in South Minneapolis on 54th and Penn. In my salon right now. One of my friends and I, she opened the salon. I just moved my clippers in a couple of years ago, and it's been really great. The shutdown was really hard. But the one thing that we both talked about, my coworker and I, was that we were both very grateful that we knew we had a job to go back to at the end of it. You know, all of our clients were reaching out. My clients were so supportive during the shutdown, making sure that I was okay and ready to get back in and get haircuts again. So we're back into it, back in the swing of things. We wear, masks and everything while we're working, but it's been really great to be back at work. I will say that.
So you're going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
You're like TikTok famous now.
Right.
Like, you could probably.
I know. And I feel kind of bad because once I got back at work, it kind of slowed down a little bit. I gotta beef up my content again.
We've got about 20 seconds left, but I have to ask, why do you do all of yours in the bathroom? Why are all of your videos in the bathroom?
It started that way and I was like, well, consistency is key, I guess. I'll just keep doing it there.
Consistency is key, girl.
Yeah.
Katie
it's
Sexton.
A cute little bathroom.
It is a cute bathroom, and the sign changes. I appreciate that.
Yes.
I noticed. Katie, thank you so much for joining us. You can find Katie
Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome, of course. You can use her, find her username, searching for your friend Katie, which she could be my friend.
And now she's our friend Katie,
our friend.
right? Yeah. She's also on Instagram. You can search for Groomed by Katie.
Oh, that's kind of, she's hilarious. We'll be right back, you guys. Don't you know?
It's true. We're going to switch right into it. Welcome back to the Jason Show, Friday edition.
She was hilarious.
We just sat all break and quizzed each other on names of cities.
Yeah, how do you pronounce that? Do you know? And we decided that Minnesota is tough, but Wisconsin actually
might be more challenging.
Harder. Yeah, it's a little harder. You can stay connected with us on social media. Just check us out: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just search Jason Show TV, and of course, we post each day's episode on YouTube later on in the day. Shokayo.
She's got it.
That was one we just did.
Didn't get that one.
In case you were wondering. We'll be right back, everybody.
I feel like we need to put the name on there so you can visualize.
See it right there.
They say I'll be okay, but I'm not going to ever get over you.
Okay, so we may not have the State Fair this year, but country star Miranda Lambert is ready to ring in the fair next year. The State Fair announced new dates for the stars taking the stage next summer. Lambert will kick off the fair night 1, August 26th. Have you heard her song Bluebird?
It's
like
really
her
bad
new
the
jam.
names.
So good.
Oh, can you
Go
sing
listen
it?
to it. No, you don't want to hear that.
I thought I'd ask.
I will butcher it, and she doesn't deserve that. She deserves better.
She deserves better. Other acts at next year's State Fair include Tim McGraw and the Doobie Brothers. Do they normally release who's coming this early?
No, but these are all the people that had dates this year that they
okay.
just sounds like they just rebooked for next year. Like, might as well lock it down. But usually, like in the winter, they do a big announcement on this and get everyone buzzing about the fair in like January. So they don't have that to do, but we're good. The fair will be just fine.
Now we don't care how it comes as long as it's with us.
Yep.
Shane, this has been really fun, and I'm actually we miss Jason. Duh. Don't worry. Don't get offended. But I've had a lot of fun
Have
just
fun.
hanging like with you. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
And thank God there's so much Bachelor stuff to talk about because Jason would never want to talk about this with us.
Right. There was no Star Wars this week, so I apologize. We'll get back to that.
We'll get back to your regular scheduled programming coming soon. Don't worry. But it was fun, and we'll always have the memories on YouTube. Or next time Jason wants to get out of town.
That's true. It'll happen eventually.
Someday.
Yeah.
Oh, like we said, Monday, Jason is back, people.
And he's got a special guest. Former Real Housewife of New York, Jill Zarin, will be here joining him to talk about her new face mask line, of course, and we'll find out what she thinks of the show these days. That's on Monday. Jill Zarin.
Jill
Trying to say it
Zarin.
right.
You say it right, Jill
Trying.
Zarin.
It's almost sounding like Southern.
I'm so bad at
Taking a
this.
turn.
I know. I gotta go practice my Minnesotan accent too. All I gotta do is go up north for a little bit, and then I'll remember how I
And that's
talk
what you're
again. It'll be fine. It'll be just fine. Thank
We'll
you.
miss you.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. We appreciate you. We love you. Jason's back on Monday. Have a safe weekend.
Happy weekend. We made it. Thank you, Lori
Thanks,
and
Lori.
Lois.
This is as close as I can get to you.
I know, right? You